Hello, my love. You know, the real reason why you keep trying and trying and trying and it's just not working out is not because you're not trying hard enough. Actually, quite the contrary. It's really because you're trying too hard. Because you're focusing way too much on the doing. And from that, you are focusing on a deeper level way too much on forcing. Your energy is so wrapped up in it has to work, that you're choking off the energy. And what will actually make it so much more easy and so much more successful for you is when you remember that life is all about joy. The purpose of life is simply to be joyful. It's to be present in the here and now. It's to love your life, to be completely in love with everything that you have going on. I know we all have obligations and things we have to do, but the whole point of living is to be completely, absolutely in joy and bliss and in complete love of everything that you have going on and everything that you're doing. And so the success is not in the doing. Getting it to work is not in the doing, it's in the being. It's in being the joy right now, not trying to force yourself to wait to be joyful until after that thing is done or until after you have that thing, right? It's like we have these wide variety forms of like destination happiness, and we're just spinning our circles. We're just spinning our wheels in the mud, getting nowhere, you know, because we think that we're just going to be peaceful when we get to that thing. We think we're just going to feel wealthy and feel joyful and know that we are loved when we have that thing, when we do that thing, when we accomplish that thing, right? And that's not how it is at all. Because we have to remember that we are always circulating and attracting what we are. So the joy is, if you don't feel it now, I guarantee you it's not going to be on the other side of that thing, especially not given the fact of life. We all know that the top of one mountain is the bottom of another. So if you don't feel wealthy with what you have now, you're not going to feel it then. You know, you're just going to be at the bottom of the next mountain like, cool, I made a 10K month, but now I can make a 50K month, right? If you don't feel love now, you're not going to feel it later, because you're going to be like, okay, cool, like I finally got like a really good group of friends. I got this good community, this tribe, that's awesome. Now where's my husband? Right? You're always going to be chasing after that next thing. And if you listened to what I posted yesterday about chasing, every time you're chasing, you're really just getting up off of your throne. And then you're no longer ruling your life or ruling over that part of your life. That part of your life is ruling over you. You're no longer owning that desire, embodying that desire. That desire is ruling you. Right? So this is your sign, this is your calling, this is my way of loving you right now, is to encourage you to love on yourself. This is the core of the work that I do with myself in my life, in every area of my life. It's gotten to me to some really amazing places, to this amazing place where I live now, to a life that I absolutely love every single part of, where no part of me ever feels pressured. I never feel pressured, I never feel hurried, I never feel like I have to do something. Of course, again, I have chores, I have obligations like everybody else, but you know, for the most part, life is really fucking amazing. And it's the work that I do with my clients, and it all stems from this single point of, how can I love on this more in order to fall in love with it more? How can I be the joy right now? And in order to experience the joy right now, in order to circulate that joy, in order to attract the joy, what we are is how we build the foundation, right? And then as we continue to circulate and attract and build on that, that's how we expand that. We start with a foundation of love, joy, wealth, right? Then we encourage those things naturally on their own to expand. And then from there, it's continued expansion and sustainability. Life is not as complicated as so many people make it out to be. It really isn't, my love. It really isn't. If you just be the love, be the light, be the joy, be the wealth that you want to see in your life, or I'm getting goosebumps, and that you want to see in the lives of everyone around you, then be it right now. Stand in that ground. Stand it, claim it, be it, own it, declare it. Just be that, right? And then allow the doing to come from the being naturally, right? Allow the being of love, the being of wealth, the being of joy, right? Allow the intuitive nature of that being to guide what you are going to do in order to continue to expand those energies and to sustain them and to continue to spread them and expand them and to be them and to share them all over the world with everyone you come into contact with. It's not hard. I think sometimes it can be kind of hard. Sometimes it absolutely can be kind of hard because we're sitting here like, yeah, but I don't really feel like I have a ton of money in my bank account right now, right? So how can I feel wealthy? Well, that stems from how are you defining what it means to be wealthy? In fact, just last weekend, I was hanging out with my great niece and great nephew babysitting, and they wanted to watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And we came to that part in the movie where they were introducing all of the different children and their families and stuff, right? And then when it came to Charlie Bucket, my great niece, she was like, you know, he's not very lucky. And I was like, well, why do you think that? And she was like, well, because they live in this house, it's got a hole in the roof, and it's kind of tilted, and they're just eating cabbage soup and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but look, he has a mom and a dad who love him so much, and they give him everything they possibly can. And he's got 2 grandmas and 2 grandpas, and they're with him all the time, and the grandpa is so excited for him that he won the golden ticket, and they're so excited to join him on this journey, and they're so supportive. And you know, they didn't have much to give him for his birthday, but they gave him enough that he could at least get like a nice little treat for himself. Like, that is so wealthy, that is so lucky, and that's something none of the other kids had, right? They had parents who pushed them, parents who neglected them, parents who spoiled them just to shut them up, right? They had stuff, right? When you realize that stuff, money, love, joy, it's all just energy. It's all on equal standing, and you're on equal standing with all of it. Actually, you kind of rise above it, actually, to be totally honest, because you actually have a direct connection to the quantum field, to the field of pure potentiality that those other energies do not have. They exist in the field of pure potentiality, but they don't have a direct connection to it, as in your direct connection is the way that you encourage it to come more directly to you in a much quicker timeline, which is also part of the work that I do with my clients. So redefining what it means to be wealthy, redefining what it means to be joyful, redefining what it means to give and receive love in your life in order to expand your capacity to receive and to hold these energies and to neutralize them, to neutralize the charge that they have, to be aware of when you are telling yourself that you will only have it if you have it like this. It has to look like this. It doesn't. It doesn't have to look like that. Right? Love can look like so many different things. Wealth can look like so many different things. And so neutralizing the charge is also expanding your willingness to receive it in all this different forms and all these different channels throughout your life. Right? When you open yourself up to that a little bit more, then you will start to see that from your being and from your willingness, that you will start to see the joy and the love and the wealth coming in your finances, in your career, in your purpose, in your physical being, in your body, in your mental, emotional, in your energy, in your, I don't know, in your relationships, in your communities, right? You just magically start to see it just like flowing in all kinds of ways that you didn't expect, because you were willing to receive it in ways that you didn't expect. Because you didn't say, I'm only willing to receive it if it looks like this. Right? You just started to be that. You started to open yourself up to that. You started to love on yourself a little bit more in order to neutralize the charge and to heal whatever roadblocks kind of were getting in the way of you receiving more of that. And just being completely open and full force to whatever ways that you could receive it, in whatever ways that Source had decided, yes, he needs to receive this and experience this way. This is part of the plan that I have for this person right now. And the more open that you are to that, the more of that direct, unhindered connection that you have to the quantum field, in which whatever it is that you desire that exists in the field of pure potentiality can come, just flow directly to you, because you're not stopping it. You're not allowing any of your perspectives or programs or conditions or triggers or traumas to get in the way of that, right? So it's kind of this like multiple levels sometimes. So when I say like, oh, it's just that easy to be the joy, to be the love, it really is just that easy. And yet I know sometimes that we catch ourselves in these moments where we're like, oh, you know, but I don't feel like I really deserve that, or I don't really feel like I am that, you know, and I don't really feel like I'm connected to that necessarily, right? We have these moments where our fears and our conditions kind of creep in, and they hinder us from that direct connection. And so maybe it, for you, like it did for me, kind of comes down to this of sitting down and deciding that you are going to be solid in the identity that you wish to embody. And identity maybe can sound a little ambiguous. Did I say that right? That's a word now. It can sound a little bit like a gray area. You don't necessarily know how to define it. And so how about we start with this, if that's you? How do I want to be? What qualities do I want to embody and to see more of in my life? If I am sitting down like I was just a couple of years ago, and I was trying to, you know, work on myself and work on my manifestations, and I wrote down I am abundant, and yet I felt like this twinge in my body, like, oh, that's not true. I could feel my tailbone tightening. I could feel my sacral chakra kind of like closing and shriveling up right there, like, you know, oh, it's not true. Oh, it's not true. And yet my soul knew that it was true. I could feel that it was true in my spirit for me. And so it was only, you know, when you understand energy, and this is again something I work very much with my clients on, is understanding what I call your sorry, I'm losing the word right now. Like your internal body language. When you listen to your internal body language, when you listen to those little twinges and you know where they are and you know what type of energy lives there, then you can super easily identify it, so you can super easily heal it and then kind of like work through it, right? And so I would write that down, and I would be like, oh, I don't know if that is necessarily true for me. And yet I knew that it was true for me. And so it was a matter of bringing that down into the rest of my energetic system, into the rest of my electricity, into my physical body, and bringing that into a space of knowing. And so I would circle back and say, okay, well, if I'm struggling right now to feel like I can truly identify with this on the whole, then what I will say is I am being wealthy. Ooh, that gives it a different kind of a meaning now, doesn't it? It really kind of does. It's a little bit different. It's a little like, oh, it helps you to kind of change that perspective of what it means to be wealthy and how you can be wealthy out in your world right now, even if you don't have the tangible financial wealth sitting in your bank account right this second. And you can say, oh, I am joy. But if you don't feel like you are joy, then you can say, well, I am being joyful. I'm circulating joy. My life is joyful. Okay, well, if my life is joyful, how am I inviting more of that joy into my life every single day? Right? And so you can see how it starts to really kind of build on itself. And we take it kind of day by day, but it really starts to build. There was a book written a while ago, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that you do. It's called The Compound Effect. And it talks very much about how we start in this place of, it's like, it feels so little, it feels so down here, but like, then it grows to 4, and then it doesn't grow to 6, it grows to 8, and then to 16, and then to 32, right? Like, it compounds on itself over time. And it adds up so much more quickly than you think that it does. And my clients are constantly blown away by how much they can achieve in just 2 weeks, in just 4 weeks, in just 6 weeks. Like, it's wild for them how far they can come. And I still highly recommend that people who work with me who are really truly committed to absolutely owning and fully receiving and committed to jumping into their highest timeline, that we do work for 4 to 6 months together, because as we come on this journey, we can start to notice more and more of where we're not fully receiving it, and clearing the blocks as they come up. And while we're doing that, we're also continuing to build in the tools that you need to continue to sustain the super high levels of the joy and the wealth and the love in your life, and then to continue to expand them everywhere you go. So that once our time is done together, you don't feel like you need to kind of keep like coming around, or a year later you're looking for another coach to work with. Like, you have absolutely all of the tools that you need to keep living your highest life in your highest timeline, and to keep being the highest expression of you that God designed you for. And I totally sat down thinking I was going to make like a 2-minute video, and here I am quite a while later. Just started like channeling stuff. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this has been just as expansive for you as it has been for me. I love you so much. Go be the thing. Don't try to do the thing. Go be the thing. And go love on your life a little bit more. Love on yourself a little bit more. Love on your wealth. Love on your joy. Love on your peace. Love on your mindfulness. Love on every single moment. Love on your loved ones. Love on everything that you have now, and embody more of what you have now, and just be more of all of who you are. Spread that shit around everywhere like sunshine. Just let it radiate. Go be the radiant being that you are. And if and when you're ready for that commitment to your highest timeline, absolutely shoot me an email, send me a DM, ask me questions. I'm more than happy to sit on an hour, hour-long Zoom call with you to answer any questions that you absolutely have, and there's no charge for that from me ever. Because I want you to know that what you are getting from me is exactly what you want for yourself, and it's exactly the thing that is going to help you love yourself in the way that you know you deserve to be loved, and that it is absolutely going to be the thing that is going to push you to commit to that highest timeline, to be fully in that highest timeline, and to get everything you want out of life just by being you. I love you.